Hi, it's me. Number 10. The disappearance of Tutankhamun's mother. Tutankhamun is probably one of the most famous pharaohs of ancient Egypt. He took the throne when he was just 9 years old, ruled for 10 years and died at age 19. What's strange is that no one knows what he looked like, since every single image of him is either a copy of a copy or a reconstruction. The original artwork is all gone. But there is another reason why this young pharaoh is famous. It's because of the circumstances surrounding his mother's disappearance. The boy king had two parents. His father was the infamous pharaoh Akhenaten, and his mother was the former princess of the land of Mitanni, named Gilukipa. However, when Tutankhamun came to power, he changed his name to Tutankhaten and moved the Egyptian empire's capital back to Thebes. After that, he started worshipping Amun again, just like the other pharaohs. This caused quite a rift between him and his father, and he essentially distanced himself from everything his father stood for. It's thought that Tutankhamun's mother was very influential in his decision to turn his back on his dad. She may have even been the one who convinced him to move the capital back to Thebes and restore the old gods. But here's the thing, nobody knows what happened to her. She just vanished after Tutankhamun became the new pharaoh. It's thought she may have been executed by Akhenaten because she was a threat to his authority, or maybe he just banished her so she could live out the rest of her days in some far-off city. Number 9. Cleopatra's Egyptian lover. Cleopatra VII was the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt. Her story has been romanticized by historians, archaeologists, and Hollywood to the point where she is now known as one of the most beautiful women in history. In reality, we don't know what she looked like or if she was actually as beautiful as they say. What we do know is that she had an Egyptian lover named Ptolemy, who was the son of King Ptolemy II. He wasn't supposed to marry Cleopatra because she was his sister, and the two of them were both married to their own brothers. But they fell in love anyway, and had a secret wedding ceremony while they were still married to their awful spouse. They weren't able to keep their relationship a secret for long, and when Cleopatra's brother discovered the marriage, he killed Ptolemy and threw his body down a well. Cleopatra managed to escape, but she would never see her beloved again. 8 crazy canopic jars. Canopic jars were used by the Egyptians to hold the internal organs of mummies. They were usually made with a ceramic material and decorated with images of the gods that would protect the dead person's soul during their journey into the afterlife. In 2015, an archaeological team discovered a collection of canopic jars buried with a woman named Tyre. What made these jars so strange was that they were covered in images of a goddess with a dog's head. This was extremely unusual. The Egyptians never depicted any kind of hybrid creatures on their canopic jars. These mysterious canopic jars were crafted with a mixture of clay and bone, which also wasn't typical. The only other time Egyptian archaeologists have found canopic jars made with bone was in the case of Tutankhamun. Then there's the fact that this woman was buried with 18 canopic jars, one for each of the internal organs. Most people were only buried with 4. Could this woman have been some kind of priestess? Why was she given such a special burial with all of these creepy dog-headed canopic jars? We don't know. Number 7. Nefertiti's lost bust. The bust of Nefertiti is one of the most famous pieces of artwork ever found in Egypt. It's a monumental sculpture of an unknown queen that was discovered by a German archaeologist named Ludwig Borchardt in 1912. The only problem is that nobody knows who the bust was meant to represent. It's generally accepted that it was meant to be Queen Nefertiti, the wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten. But there are some who believe it could have been a male member of the royal family. The sculpture was found inside the Royal Sculptures Workshop in the city of Thebes, and it's thought that whoever commissioned the bust was planning to use it as a prototype for dozens of sculptures depicting Queen Nefertiti. Unfortunately, we'll never know for sure because the sculpture was taken to Berlin in 1913 and is yet to be returned to Egypt. Number 6. The mysterious pharaoh Sesostris III. Sesostris III was an Egyptian pharaoh from the 12th dynasty. He reigned over the empire from 1878 to 1843 BC. The biggest mystery surrounding this man is that virtually nothing is known about him. There are almost no records of his existence outside of a few steely inscriptions. History tells us that he was the son of Amenemhat III, but we don't know how or where he was born. And there are no records of his death or his funeral. Even worse, his name isn't even on the Turin king list, which means it's possible that the Egyptians didn't even consider him a real pharaoh. The only evidence that he ever existed is a series of archaeological finds from various sites around Egypt. Researchers don't even agree on whether or not these artifacts were really from the same time period. If they were, then Sesostris III may have been a forgotten pharaoh whose accomplishments were lost to history. Number 5. The Golden Mummies. Archaeologists recently unearthed 16 golden mummies from a tomb near Alexandria. The discovery was made in the Al-Hamidiya necropolis and dates back to the Ptolemaic period of ancient Egypt. The mummies are about 2,000 years old. These are not your average mummies. Each one was wrapped in gold leaf and adorned with vibrant pieces of artwork. The team uncovered 11 male mummies and 5 female mummies, though researchers believe the gender of one of them may have been misidentified. Unfortunately, the condition of the mummies isn't very good. They were found in a very bad state of preservation, and many of them were damaged due to moisture seeping through the tomb. Not much is known about these golden mummies right now, but they are extremely important to Egyptian archaeology. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time. Bye.